Hello. Hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday evening and enjoy their weekends. Um, One of the things I'd like to talk about today as I'm making my lovely little cards is I put on the number 6 because 6 says reflect. The things we should always go back and reflect on. You know what I mean? Um, Clean and physical, but messy in the spiritual. And I'd like to touch on that. In my experience, the people with the cleanest records sometimes harbor some of the darkest souls and the most negative energy signatures that I have ever come across. Everybody has an energy signature. Everything's frequency. Energy is frequency. So as we go through life, experiencing life, raised by certain people in certain places, it adds to our frequency because we're born with our own individual frequency. But everything that we do in life adds to said frequency and energy signatures. So when I say you got to tear things down to get to what you originally programmed, it's a lot of these extra frequencies and energies and stuff that we pick up along the way without realizing we're picking them up in the first place most of the time. Where a lot of other people will have like more raw people will have labels like crazy or too much or dramatic because they're raw. And in the physical, a lot of people want to see that as messy. Okay, so here's where the contradiction comes in. In order to heal from said emotions instead of harboring them and continuing to repeat cycles over and over again, we have to feel these emotions. If we are raised to believe that feeling emotions is messy, especially if we show said emotions, then we're it's, you see where I'm going. At least I hope you do. Reputation comes into play. Um, the truth in the long run will almost always speak for itself, but so many people will go out of their way to carry on like a fabricated lie. Sometimes to some quite extensively desperate means. Um, Now here's where Destiny Swap comes in play. Say they've been spending all this time trying to save face for their reputation, but they've been doing it against somebody that's been innocent the whole time, right? Well, when the truth starts to come out, they're going to start trying to cover their tracks fast, right? Okay, well, one, most people are going to do this in the physical right out the gate, because that's the obvious. But some of the smarter ones, higher levels, higher devils, if you will start also trying to cover their tracks in the spiritual. Hmm. But with corruption always comes complacency. So the ones that know to do the spiritual and the physical almost always, somewhere along the way, is gonna get tired trying to juggle both and keep up with both and become complacent and clumsy somewhere, and something's gonna slip through the cracks. Also, in the physical, the ones that are extremely, extremely, extremely careful to cover up all of their physical crap, they don't think to actually cover up the spiritual because they don't believe in it. And it leaves an energy signature, a very, very loud trail, if you will. Because spirits, my dear, beautiful souls, is energy too, just like air, just like water, just like the earth and the fire. Everything is energy, it's all frequency, it's all vibration, right? The cults and the big like masons and stuff like that get messy, especially the large groups of people. That is a huge, huge frequency. If y'all are all up to the same nonsense, this one hell of an energy signature. Have yourself aware and fine tune another. All energy signatures are trace backable to a source of creation, a creation point, if you will. Uh, don't be sheep people. When spiritual, physical, so they should always remain at a certain karmic balance at all times in order for creation to flow smoothly. Well, when they reach a certain karmic balance and one is way more off than the other, creation itself will step in to right itself so that it can continue to flow as needed because it was made to always flow, right? When you try to put a kink in that flow, it's gonna cause like a tidal wave ripple effects, a flood of things, if you will. If you haven't read the story of Enoch, read the book of Enoch. If you ain't religious, it's still a fun read. So yeah, energy signatures, energy readers. Some energy readers are way more fine-tuned than others. Some have different gifts than others. Some have more gifts, some have less gifts. Everybody is special, everything is unique. It's supposed to create a much bigger picture that's supposed to help said creation continue to flow. Anyways, so yeah. I'm not supposed to speak on this out loud, I guess, because I've been cleaning and everything else. Everything's been going so smooth, but the moment I sat down to record, it's like that one little fly. That one little fly. Is there anything that you would like for us to wrap up this message with that you might would like for me to convey to anyone who might see this message on this beautiful Sunday? Give me a minute. Mm. The so the practitioner out there trying to mess with said ebb and flow balance, keep things karmically imbalanced. Spirit is saying no more. This is now the beginning of a new time. A time for the ones that aren't used to to finally be seen and start being abundant themselves. It's time for y'all to get y'all's victory, Spirit saying. And that abundance is coming. And they, yeah. Now let's close this out. Will always win.